Welcome for this special edition where we talk in relationship and mostly romance. Wow, this is a month of romance, as you already point out. And you know, romance is a relationship, is like the core that make the heart stronger. It's like without it, the love can weaken and can even disappear. And we wonder what makes romance so powerful and so necessary for our life. It's because it's the only language that the heart understand the most. So tonight we're having special guests. They are coaches. They are on their own field. They bring it up from your partner. You are also in the right place. And also, if your sex life have gone sour, cold, boring, and I'm sure tonight we're going to get from our relationship coaches few tips, a few way of really making it spark back, igniting it. So without further ado, I'm just going to invite on the platform our first speaker. Both of them, we're not going by question and answer. We just give them a platform to speak what they are prepared for us. And if there are questions that been raised from their talk, or if you have questions that you have been keeping in your mind, wondering who can answer it, you are the right place, because we have the right people on this platform tonight. Our first speaker is Pastor Ndong. He's an author, a love and relationship coach. He's also a marriage counselor. He's a radio and TV show host and conference speaker. He and his wife are both director of Living as One. It's an organization that hosts relationship events globally for married couples, single and young adults. Their organization have helped many couples to get back their relationship. And besides that, Pastor Don have authored about 5 books. When it comes to relationship, I think that is his field. So we are privileged to have Pastor Don with us tonight. Pastor Don, over to you. Just roll it, is your topic, I know, and the expectation that were raised at the beginning by the participant, I'm sure by the end of this topic, they're going to be satisfied. Their expectation, their curiosity will be satisfied. So over to you, Pastor Ndong.
Hello, hi. I'm glad to be part of this, and I want to thank Josiana for giving us this platform and this opportunity. And I also want to thank every one of you for making time to join in. You know, one of the main challenges we have is lack of knowledge. In anything, in any field, what we really need is the right knowledge, the right understanding, and we will succeed. You see, relationship and marriage is one thing that we don't go to school to learn. So we just do trial and error. We do all kinds of trial and error. And you know, when you find people who say, I'm done, most of the time they've made so many messes that they can't clean up. So they just say, you know what, I think it's time to go to somewhere else because we can't fix this. So it's a good thing that you join in to learn, to understand how to, you know, make your relationship work. So today I will be focusing on how to rekindle and establish the culture of romance in your relationship. How to rekindle and establish that culture. So I don't just want you to, you know, have something going on starting up today and you feel excited and you do it for 1 week and then you pack up. No, we must find a way to sustain it, because anything that you don't sustain, you cannot enjoy it for a longer period of time. So I want to go right into it. I want to start with the first point I want to share. It's about rekindling. And also, I will go on to talk about establishing the culture of romance. Now, the first thing I find that is very important in establishing or rekindling a romantic relationship is to have the mindset of romance and sex. Now, I will be touching more on sex, and also on romance, but I want us to look at romance and sex as something that go together. So if I mention one word, just understand that it also means the other thing in the context of our discussion today, because we're looking at how to rekindle, romance in a relationship. So the first point I want to make is we must have the mindset of romance and sex, the mindset of sex. It must be established in our minds. I always ask people this question. I want you to think about this. Do you know that if you are to be locked up in a room with somebody of the opposite sex that you had desired, and let's say the light is off, you can't see the person's face, and the person cannot see your face, but you have been told that this is that woman that you longed for, that you desired to be with, or this is that man that you had desired to be with. Do you know that even though you don't see the person's face, you don't talk to the person, but as long as you believe, you will be able to have an enjoyable sexual experience with that person? You will definitely enjoy that sexual experience because your mind is tuned in to say, wow, finally, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been expecting. That desire, that readiness of the mind is what people need to enjoy sex in their relationship. It's what we need to enjoy romance in our relationship. So it starts with the mind. It starts with the mindset. How do you see sex? How do you see romance? Is it something for you that it just happens when you feel bored? Or is it something that, you need to enjoy with your partner? So the mindset of sex is very, very important. That's the beginning for me in this aspect. Now, I will say that the readiness for sex begins with a mind that is stirred up with passion. Your mind is your ability to think or reason. Oftentimes you hear people say, I am not in the mood. A person who is not in the mood for something is a person who has negative or no thoughts about that thing. So the reason some people are not in the mood for sex with their spouse is that they were not thinking about it, or they did not even, have it in mind. So it is important to always think about your partner. Now, I want to take some of you back to when you first met. I want you to imagine the feeling you had when you first connected with your partner, or when you expected to make love for the first time with your partner. How did you feel? I mean, how was the experience? It may not have been as good as you expected, but the feeling was a great feeling. You felt like, wow, this is wonderful. You had expectation. You were even turned on before you were touched. So a lot of things, had happened because your mind was ready for it. Now, when we are married, and after we've been married for many years, that is what is lacking. That readiness in the mind, that feeling is what is lacking. We no longer desire our partners because, you see, that readiness of the mind comes from a place of desire. It comes from a place where you have desired somebody, and now the person is here before you. What can you do? How can you relate with this person? How can you enjoy this person? So we have to go back to the place where we are desiring our partner. We must go back to that place where in our mind, we desire our partner. We long to be together. We see our partner as being attractive. Now, I want to say this. The man, for you to have that readiness in your mind to be with your woman, you must see her as being beautiful. You must see her as being that, woman that you desired who is beautiful, attractive, and somebody you want to be with. And for the women, you must see your man as being good enough for you, because that is also what can turn you on. When a woman looks at a man and feels like this man is not good enough for me, this man is problematic, this man is trouble, she's automatically turned off. She is not turned on for anything. When a man looks at a woman and doesn't see her as being beautiful, gorgeous, somebody, he desires, somebody he can even fantasize to be with, he doesn't have that mindset. He cannot perform as he should. He cannot give his best. So we need to go back to the mindset of romance and sex. Just remember how it was when you first met, the first encounter you had, the expectation you had, and all that you desired to see happen. That is what we need to play in our mind time after time to keep that fire, to keep that spark going. So it is important to do that. Now, I want you to understand that if the sex you have with your partner is not pleasurable for a good memorial, you will have to communicate with your spouse regarding your expectations during sex rather than shy away from it. So I believe that communication is also a key thing. We have to learn how to communicate and share our expectations with one another. Because you see, if your mind is ready and you are longing for a good experience, and then your partner shows up and then, there is a disappointment along the way, or, maybe he doesn't touch the right parts, he doesn't, do the right things, and you are disappointed. Now you tend to want to shy away from continuing in that expectation or from giving yourself to be fully involved, sexually. So it is important that we talk, we must communicate. So you should be able to tell your partner what you desire, what you will expect the person to bring to the table. I always say to couples, there are two kinds of expectation that ruin relationship: unknown expectation and unrealistic expectation. So if you have an expectation, for romance and sex, and your partner doesn't know about it, you will definitely be disappointed. It might be by some miracle or by some workings it happened. We don't want to just sit and expect a miracle when you can work it out. So you have to communicate. Tell your partner how you want to have it. Both male and female should communicate to one another. So I've discovered that, we need to come to a point where we allow our minds to detect for our bodies, not the other way around. Not that we allow, our situations, the way we feel, to detect to our minds. You see, sometimes you see people say, I'm not in the mood. And if you find out something has happened, maybe there is a situation, there is a challenge, bills and so many things make people not to be in the mood. Now, the truth is this. I believe that sex is very relaxing. I believe that romance and sex, relaxes the body, and it can renew your energy. It can renew your strength. So what I think that people should do is, rather than allow yourself to succumb to the situation and the challenges and say, I'm not in the mood, I don't want to do this, rather it is good that you stir up yourself to have the sex. Enjoy life, relax. Maybe in relaxation, you'll be able to know the right thing to do. You'll be able to have the right solution. I made up my mind, after marriage, that I won't allow situations to detect when I should be romantic with my wife or when I should have sex with my wife, enjoy it. No, it doesn't happen. I rather, use my mind to do what I need to do to be able to solve a problem. So one thing is that you should allow the mindset of romance and sex towards your partner to control your decisions and control what you do. We must always be thinking about each other. Now, that's the first in rekindling. Now, the second thing is we must use the right words. Like I spoke about communication. We must use the right words to communicate. Words can stir up love. Words of affection is very important. I always say to people, listen, if you feel confused, just remember the first time both of you met. Just remember the words you used to speak to your partner. You always look out to, making things happen, making your partner happy. Those text messages, those romantic words, those cuddle, those hugs, those things we used to do, those words are very important. Words will help to stir up love in a relationship. Now, you see, most of the time, I've said this to men, that a woman really wants to feel love. Most of the time, I've observed that even the women who fall for the wrong men, it's not because, they saw everything happening, they saw tangible things that made them fall. I believe that a woman easily falls for a man when she feels the love from that man. So the focus of the man should be to make his woman feel loved. And also on the woman's side, I believe that men easily give themselves to the woman when they feel respected, when they feel, they feel honored, by that woman. They feel that they are being regarded, their person is regarded, that's what makes a man feel open to, submit, be vulnerable, to be able to relate. Because sometimes, you see, in enjoying romance and sex, we have to have some level of vulnerability. You don't have to, if you are a man of God, with a bishop, whatever, you don't come into the bedroom with your robe and say, oh, I'm the bishop, no, there's nothing like that happening. So whatever you are in your workplace, when you want to enjoy a good romantic sexual relationship, you have to keep that aside, keep your position, know that this is my partner, we are friends, we have to play, we have to have this foreplay, we have to enjoy ourselves. So now when you are in that position, you can be able to use the right words to lure your partner into this act of sex. So good complimentary words stirs up the mood for an enjoyable relationship. And words can also stimulate a woman for sex and also turn her off. So you must know what you say. So it is important that we use words. Even God used words to create the heaven and the earth. And I want to say to men, please be careful the words you speak to your woman, because in the beginning, when God made woman, he did not even speak to the woman first. He allowed the man to first speak to the woman, because the words of the man programs the woman. So you must be careful to use the right words. And I believe using the right words, you can even unlock, a woman who was not in the mood to be in the mood. It's possible to change that, position. So another thing I want to say, because of time, I'm just going to rush through this. The next one is actions. I need to speak about this, not just words. We need to have foreplay and lovemaking. Now, you can read this in my book. I've written a book titled The Four Rooms of Marriage. Listen, that book is detailed with how you can even help your woman to have orgasm, enjoy, a sexual relationship. So I always advise people, when you buy the book, keep it away from your kids. I try to be as practical as possible, because this is one thing that we must enjoy, in our marriages, in our relationship. So you can read through the book, you'll find out how to touch your woman, where to touch, touching the man, and, how to get that person to that position. But touch is very important. So I believe that feeling your spouse's body is an act of touching with a concentration of the mind that describes, understands, and relates to enjoying what is being touched. Now, you see, there is a difference in touching and, making contact. So, but if you want to arouse a person, you have to touch the person with a concentration of the feeling you have being transferred to the person. Because sometimes, you see, many people, try to do foreplay, try to do romance, but it doesn't move their partner, because their concentration is not there. They are not releasing what they feel. That's why I'm saying sex begins in the mind. A good sexual experience and romance starts with the mind. when your mind is tuned in, your mind begins to create what you want to achieve. So when your mind begins to create that, you start flowing with a certain level of understanding of what you want to achieve. So I would not advise the way, you know, some men do, just want to jump into, you know, have sex, boom, 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 and just jump out. No, you have to create something. You have to create something with your woman that will cause both of you to enjoy that activity. So like I'm saying, I may not have time to go through this. If you get my book, The Forums of Marriage, go to page 26, 27, 28 till 30. I'm telling you, it's going to change your sexual experience, because everything is practically, you know, explained there. So in Rekindling, I've spoken about the mindset of sex. I've spoken about words of affection. I've spoken about foreplay and lovemaking. And I want to quickly jump to, I think I still have some few minutes here. I want to jump to how to sustain, you know, sustain a good sexual relationship like we've spoken about. Now, I want to say this. I believe that one of the main things that help in sustaining an enjoyable sexual relationship is the reason that you have sex in the first place. I mean, the reason you desire sex with your partner. What is the reason? And that will take me to just sharing with you guys about 4 main reasons why people have sex in marriage. And I believe that the wrong reason will always bring you to a place where you cannot relate properly with your partner. So I see somebody is asking me, where can we get the book? We have the book on Amazon. We have the hard copies here in the office. But for the sake of this event, with the permission of Josiana, if she permits, you can get my number. I can send you the soft copy. The book, we sell it for 150, but I can send you the soft copy for 100 Rand. You share with your partner. And so you don't even have to bother traveling to go get the book or something. So I believe that that book will change your experience. So let me just run through the 4 reasons people have sex. And please, if yours is among one of the ones that are not right, you have to change it, because you see, the reason we do things is the foundation of the thing. So if you don't have the right kind of understanding of why we should have sex in our marriage, in our relationships, then you are not going to do it right, because the reason is already wrong. So now the first reason I see that married couples have sex is they have sex for procreation. So some people believe sex is majorly for procreation, that's to have children. So when they are done procreating, or when they do not want to procreate, they do not need to have sex. So they are already turned off. I've heard some people close to us who said they thought that sex is for procreation. So I think this is a wrong mindset of having sex. You know, even the Bible mentions that sex, you know, it makes us one body. So to have sex is to be connected with your partner, to become one with your partner. So sex should not just be for procreation. So I believe if sex was meant only for procreation, then there should be a way in which the genitals of a man and a woman will stop working after a certain age. You know, maybe that age where they can no longer procreate. So nothing should work anymore if it was just for procreation. So, but it doesn't happen like that. You know, even a woman at 80, 90, they still have fire in their bones. People can still perform, you know, wonders. So sex should not be for procreation. If you have that mindset, please drop that. Now, the second reason I see that people have sex is they have sex for favors. And so sex for favors, in fact, sex for procreation, like I said, it's more like, you know, a responsibility kind of sex. It's more like we have to do this as a responsibility. So that is not the right reason to have sex. Now, the other one is people who have sex for favors. Sex for favors is more like having sex to meet your need, your selfish need, or, you know, you just desire to have, you know, sex because you have a need for it. That's just it. And most of the time, when we have sex for favors, or maybe the woman wants to have sex to be able to get what she wants from the man, or the man wants to have sex just because, he has an erection, or he just feels like having sex. I think that is not also the right reason to, have sex. So some people have sex when they need a favor from their partner. It is more like a bribe for what they want in return. So sex was not meant for favors, but for enjoyment. A husband and wife are meant to enjoy sex with each other, as well as enjoy touching each other's body for pleasure. Sex in marriage can be to please each other, but should not be done only when a person seeks something from his or her partner. And not also, you cannot withhold sex because you feel you are not in the mood for it. If you're married, as a Christian, you should understand that your body belongs to your partner. You should be able to open up, knowing that there could be a time you also want sex, but your partner may not desire. In other words, your partner should also give in. So I think when we come to a place when we start treating each other as we would like to be treated, I think we can also build a good sexual experience. So we should not have sex just because of what we want. It should go beyond that. Now, the third reason people have sex, which is also for me not the best reason, and not the best reason to have sex, is they have sex for the sustenance of the relationship. So sex for the sustenance of the relationship. This is somehow like sex out of pity and out of just let there be peace, those kind of things. Now, some people have sex in marriage just to sustain their relationship. This is not the right thing to do. Now, this is to keep the relationship going. Some people just feel like, we have to just keep it going. I think it's not the best way to have sex, because whenever a person feels like the relationship is not worth working out, that person may not be open to having sex anymore. And the sex that should help to build a relationship will not, now you will not be able to build that relationship. So it should not be for sustenance. Now, let me just jump into, I see some questions, but I think there will be time for those questions. Josiana, I hope so I can continue without answering the questions.
Yes, yes, Pastor, we have a space for question and answer. Okay. I think, Cyril, you are writing down the question. This is for Pastor Don. Yes, you can carry on, Pastor.
Okay, so now this is for me the best reason to have sex. So for you to have a sustainable romantic and sexual, experience in your marriage, you should understand that sex is for mutual pleasure. Sex should be for mutual pleasure. So I believe that sex should be for mutual pleasure and enjoyment. Quality sex makes a better relationship than quantity sex. So when you understand that sex should be for pleasure and enjoyment, then you will be focused on delivering quality than just, quantity. So for me personally, I feel like, there is a number of times that people should engage in sex. I mean, I feel like sometimes there is a quantity that will speak of a relationship that is not really working well, but maybe we will talk about that later. But now let's focus on quality. Whenever you have sex, I believe that people should have the right mindset, like I said, concentrate. There should be good smell. Don't just come back from work smelling like fish or something, and then you expect your partner is going to jump on you. These are all things that makes the romance flow. So, smell nicely, speak romantic words. There should be foreplay and there should be intercourse. And I believe in my heart that God made the woman beautiful so the man can desire to touch her. This gives the man the motivation to initiate, sex with the woman. But this does not mean the woman cannot initiate sex. The woman should also initiate sex. So the best sex life in marriage is to have sex for mutual pleasure and enjoyment. It covers, every other thing, and when you can have sex and you are satisfied, because now satisfaction should also be something that you work towards. To enjoy sex, your mind and your heart have to be focused on the act. Stop thinking about other things when you're having sex with your spouse. It will limit you, your enjoyment. You see, some people thinking, oh, is the door closed? Oh, where is the kids? Oh, I didn't keep the food for them. Oh, my office, my work. You see, all those thoughts we bring into the bedroom, it distracts, the act. So if you want to enjoy sex, be there. Be there. I will always take you guys back to the first time, you met your partner. The first time you desired, the first time you connected. I'm saying it may not have been like a longer time you had it or something, but what I'm trying to say is that your mind was there. Your soul, your spirit, your body was there, because this is somebody you desired. Now you have to get back that connection. So now when we're having sex, concentration is important. You must have a purpose for your touches. You must have a purpose for what you are doing and what you are saying. Everything should be coordinated towards a fulfilled sexual experience. You should try and make sure your partner has orgasm and you also enjoy the experience. So there should be a focus on this. Now, I love it that even the Bible talks about some things here. I could just quickly read this in Song of Solomon, I think verse 7. The Bible is saying, okay, it says, how beautiful and how unlovely you are. You are loved with its exquisite delight. Your stature is like a palm tree, and your breasts are like clusters of fruit. I told myself, I'll go up the palm tree and take hold of its fruit. Now that's the breast. Don't confuse it with the fruit there. So may your breasts be like clusters of the vine, and the smell of your breath like apples. May your mouth be like good wine. I belong to my beloved, and his desire is for me. So we see from the scripture, you can see that a wife's breasts are like fruit that can fill the husband with delight. And every fruit that will satisfy with delight should not only be touched, but tested and with the mouth. So touching, sucking the wife's breast, kissing her mouth, like a good wine, should all be part of a good sexual experience. So romance should be something that we are free to enjoy. Listen, I don't care how religious you are. The Bible didn't tell us how to enjoy this thing. It didn't say we should do one style. It didn't say we should do, things this way. So some people come up with different things. No, it's not been done this way. This is not tradition. We are not following tradition here. We are after what we have to enjoy. And God has given us freedom. As long as that's your husband and that's your wife, you are free to enjoy them anyhow. You see, let me just say this. Funny enough, sometimes I tell my wife, the way God positioned our genitals is that we can access it from any point. That's why people have different sexual styles. So if it was just for missionary, maybe the woman's vagina should have been on top of her body, maybe her stomach. So the missionary style just goes in. But that's why I just want you to understand that you have the liberty to explore. Sex is something you can explore. You can find your rhythm with your partner. You can find a sex style that makes it comfortable for both of you. Now, if your partner is not comfortable, talk about it. Communicate. Be open to, trying new things that will help to spice up your relationship. Don't be stuck as a traditional chief that this is how, it should be and all that. So I believe that sex can be very pleasurable when both partners put their hearts and emotions into it. It is something that should be done, like I said, with concentration and passion, and not absent-mindedness in any way. So the wife should also focus on, kissing, touching the husband, in different ways to be able to get him also fully aroused. So I think my time is running out. So if you have some questions, I will, take them. But there is like no formula to say you must follow to be able to, enjoy sex. I think you should come to a point where you are open to sharing that which is in your heart. Now, let me say this. One of the reasons I feel people easily fall into the temptation of cheating is when they have a fantasy in their heart and their partner does not know about it, or they don't have that fantasy fulfilled, and suddenly they bump into somebody who is willing to give them their fantasy. It keeps them thinking of, should I go, should I not go? And along the line, they might fall for it. So it is important that when you are married to your partner, please, in heaven, there will be no sex, I have to tell you. So if you can't do it here, forget about it. So when you're married to your partner, find a way to share what is in your heart, what you desire, what you want to do together that can bring forth that satisfaction. For me, the end result is satisfaction and pleasure and satisfaction. When you have that pleasure and satisfaction, you will want to have it more and more. So let's take away all the things that limits, good sex in marriage, like cheating. Let's try and avoid it, because those are limitations. Cheating, not paying attention to one another, always fighting, always having misunderstandings. Those are limitations we should try to eradicate if we must have a good sexual experience. Because when you're talking to married couples, you have to understand that there are some underlying issues, in the marriage that limits them, from enjoying sex. Now, one of the things I want to say in conclusion is this. Please make sure that whatever misunderstandings you have, you try to settle it. Settle it even before you go to bed. Don't carry things in your mind, because you see, when you have, unforgiveness, you're not happy, you build up those things in your heart, it limits you totally. In fact, it comes to a point where you start resenting your partner instead of loving your partner. So friends, I think I'll stop here today, but final word, sex was meant to be enjoyed, and you can enjoy it as much as you want. Thank you very much. God bless.
Wow. Thank you very much, Pastor Don. It seems like you already introduced the topic of sex. Somehow our session have been more concentrated on sex, because it's a topic that we don't talk about. We don't often talk about sexuality. It's like, and as you say, it went out at the beginning, we never go to school to learn those things. We don't have no knowledge. We just discover, we find ourselves doing it, and sometimes we lack the required knowledge. So it's just good that we have a platform like this where someone can come and openly speak about this topic. Without further ado, we're going to introduce our second speaker. Is Victorine Bonchou. When it comes to the topic of sex, she speaks without reserve. Where do I start by introducing her? She's a speaker, a researcher, publisher, a coach. She's also an owner of a publishing company. If you have heard about Stacy Fu, she's the mother of Stacy Fu, who is a genius. She has received many international awards from the age of 8. She has been the one coaching her. And Victorine has written also many books, some on relationship, Stop Complaining, Bring Back Parenting. She also wrote a book on sex. The day I got that book, I was like, what audacity! What audacity! I'm telling you, speak about it like nothing else. And sometimes people find it really audacious. So we couldn't have brought forward a topic like this without inviting someone like her. It's true that Pastor Dong already paved the way for her, but without further ado, let me introduce Victorine. She's just going to elaborate on how to bring that sparkle. How I don't even know how she would touch on that topic. She has her own way of doing things. So let me just give her that liberty to do her thing. So help me to welcome Victorine. And for all your questions, please write them on the paper. We need to address them. If there's any question related to the topic that Pastor Ndo touched on, please write the question down. We're going to address them. So Vicky, it's over to you.
Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. I'm sorry I joined a bit late, so I honestly didn't follow a lot of what the pastor said. But the one thing that he left me with, and that I would want to repeat to every participant here, is that when you have good sex, you are always hot, you know? So the slogan of my book is "Good sex makes you hot." And sex is not really a topic, Joe, that we should be presenting on Zoom. I think in future, you should get together so we can do physical demonstration of sex styles. You know, I'm willing to do that with Pastor and the wife while the audience are watching. I hope Pastor is still there.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a bit difficult to do such a presentation on Zoom because I really, really love physical interaction because sex is a physical thing, you know. I mean, I know these days there are many ways of exploring sex, but if you really look at it, it's something that goes well with the physical. I'll try not to touch the things that the pastor has spoken about, but do a reverse psychology where I think the first thing we should do in a relationship when we want to bring back flames is to actually find out where the flames had gone to, what has taken away the flame. You know, Pastor gave very, very important reasons why people do have sex. And the one thing that I want to say to you is some of the reasons why that flame goes away is because people now think they don't need or they don't desire sex anymore. They are not good enough or they are not desirable anymore. So before I carry on, sorry, let me just warn you, our power is going off at 8. So I would have an interjection, which will be a transition from my Wi-Fi to mobile data. And if that happens, just be patient with me, please. It will be a few seconds transition. So yeah, so we have to really bring back that. And the first thing that people take for granted as couples is that they don't really look at the meaning of sex as their relationships progress, you know. So the one thing that I would employ today is that if you have a relationship where you feel like your sex life is less fulfilling than it had always been, it's very important that you sit down with your partner. The pastor has recommended that we communicate, but for me, communication doesn't do it. What you do is you go back to the basic definition of sex. You go back to the meaning of sex. What does sex mean? You know, people do not understand that sex is not just the interaction of two private parts, a penis and a vagina, but sex is the interaction of two spirits, you know. It's your spirit and the spirit of your partner, or your partner's spirit and your spirit interacting. And when that interaction is not bonded, there becomes crisis in your interaction in the sense that the two spirits do not communicate again. And then it starts affecting your physical. So what am I saying? Sit down. Instead of telling your partner that, look, I feel like we are having less sex than we used to have, ask your partner, after 3 children, in my case with 4 children, after 4 children, what is sex for us again? And talk about that. Talk about what sex has become, because obviously sex has moved from that young couple that had sex either because they just wanted to have or they enjoyed each other's intimate part or because they wanted children. So when you have that definition post children, you now define what sex means in this new relationship. You are then paving the way for a better sex life in the relationship that has now transcended from that of having children to that of what it is now. And then the second thing you do after definition of sex is to relook at the word intimacy. When I grew up, I thought intimacy was sex. I don't know about you. I thought intimacy was sex, but I came to understand that intimacy is not sex, because you can get intimate with somebody and not have sex, and you can have sex with somebody and not be intimate with that person. So sit together again as partner, look at what intimacy means to you. An example in my household is me and my husband sitting in our kitchen. I call him my long-term boyfriend. Me and my long-term boyfriend sitting in our kitchen, just talking about nothing but something. For me, that is the biggest definition of intimacy that actually beats the delivery of flowers, that actually beats sex for me, because that is the time that we bond in the way that we had started off. When we started off, we talked about everything but nothing. And if we can still do that 18, almost 19 years this April, again, every time he gives me that time, I find it as him rerouting our intimacy. So try and look for what gives you intimacy in that relationship and try and practice that. Because for sex to go away, number one, the definition of sex would have fallen out. And number two, the meaning of intimacy would have been breached. It would have been touched. And then the third thing is for you to look at what you want, know what you as an individual want from sex, from that relationship. Know what you want. And what do I mean? When you want sex, not every sex comes with an orgasm. In fact, when I used to still do my workshops, I found that there were women who were married for 23 years, 24 years. The maximum was 28 years, who had never experienced orgasm. And this was not because they didn't want to experience. This was because they didn't know that orgasm existed, and they didn't know whose responsibility it is to orgasm. Most women, forget about men, let me talk about women, because with men, it is almost always that they would reach orgasm when they have sex. Almost, I didn't say always. But with women, most women think it is their partner's responsibility to get them to orgasm. And when I talk about point number 3 of knowing what you want, it goes back to knowing what you want, as in, do I want my partner to have the responsibility of making me orgasm, or do I want to claim that responsibility? Whatever your response, you have to work on your mindset. You have to redefine what sex means to you. You have to redefine what intimacy means to you. And you have to think about what you want. Your mindset is extremely important, because no matter how hard your husband works on you, if orgasm is what you want, he can do all the work. You will never orgasm if your mindset is not prepared to orgasm. And for some people, the common man cannot make them orgasm. They will need toys. For some people, they just need a man's finger. For others, they just need a man's tongue. For others, they just need to fantasize about something, and then they get to orgasm. So put yourself in a quiet corner. Think about what you want. For others, what they want in sex is to explore. The pastor spoke about sex styles. Some people just want to explore, but some people just want to keep the same style going. So which one do you want? What do you want from sex? That is the third way of keeping your flame going. And the fourth way, find out what has changed. It's very common to tell people that start with foreplay. But what is very common as well is the fact that not everybody cherishes foreplay before sex. Some people want to go straight to sex and then have a foreplay after. Some people their bodies do not respond to foreplay at all. What are you changing? What has changed in this relationship? I personally look at sex like food. That's how I see sex. Sex is like food. I come from Cameroon, where we have over 400 dishes. There is no way I'm going to eat the same dish for more than 2-3 days. I want to change. And that is how I look at my sex styles. I want to change them. I want to explore. I want to do it there, and I want to do it here. I want to do it neither there nor here. But please mind you, I want to do it with the same person. I hope that. So it's about changing the food, but keeping the cooking pot. You cook different foods in the same pot all the time. Some people, when they go to a restaurant or when they even eat in their houses, they want to start with a dessert. That's why I'm saying not everybody want to start with foreplay. But what has changed that has made you not to crave sex anymore? What has changed that has made sex become something? Sorry, I just want to put on my data and prepare for the load shedding. What has changed that has made sex so different or so difficult or so far-fetched for you now? So you have to also look at that. So remember, we have talked about 4 things: the definition of sex, that's number 1. Number 2 is intimacy. Try and encourage intimacy. Number 3 is know what you want. Number 4 is change the menu, change what is working or what is not working for you. And then another thing is, when you change that, the pastor has spoken about communication. Talk with your partner. Tell them that, look, when I didn't have a baby, my nipple used to be the softest point on me that will arouse me. Now that I'm older, 10 years after, my nipple is not an arousal point anymore. It's now the back of my ear. How do you know yourself? When I teach, I tell people to explore. Explore with yourself, explore with others. You can touch yourself to know your arousal points, or you can actually talk to other people and find out. Following people on social media who talk on topics that you are lacking in actually gives you free knowledge. You learn what works for others. You try it and see if it works for you. Easy. The only person in life who is willing to progress is a person who is teachable, a person who self-teaches. So talk about it. Talking has worked for many people. And I know that you and I come from a background where talking sex is seen as a taboo, where we have spouses that you can go to and start talking sex. But there are appropriate times for that as well. Because let me tell you, every man today, yesterday, and the day before want a woman who enjoys sex. They want a partner who enjoys sex. Every woman wants to see that they get the man enjoyment, you know. So, Josiane, permit me to say this story. One of the most recent talks that I did, it was a... These are the people that have the most concealed sex.
Hello? I think she has been caught up with the load shedding. Can you hear me?
Are you on? Yes, I can hear you. Am I on?
Yes, you are on there.
But you can tell what has happened, right?
Yes. I'm also a victim of it, but I made provision.
Really?
I hope I'm not going to drop.
Okay. Actually, I'm glad for the load shedding. Can you see how beautiful I look now? How beautiful my camera looks.
I can see, always. I'm sure Hadi is at the corner.
No. He's been chased
I don't want
to
to
go
imagine
sleep.
the end.
he's been chased to go sleep. But I was talking about the Muslim community. In my opinion, they are the most concealed. They have the most concealed sexual life. And I was having this talk with a group of them. And one of the ladies actually broke down in the session and told me how she's been married for 22 years. Her last son has left home. I think the child was 18 or 19 then. And she feels like for 22 years, she's been servicing her husband. She's been giving this man sex, and she's got nothing to show for. And she feels more empty now that the child is gone, because the husband still goes to work, comes back from work, eats food, gets sex, sleeps, wakes up, goes to work. The routine has not changed. And her discussion with me actually got me thinking. And I said to this woman, it is so unfortunate that you present yourself, your sex life to me in a few words in this way. It's very agonizing, but let me tell you something. For a very, very long time, society has lied to women. Society has presented women to feel like they are sex givers. Society has presented men to feel like they are sex takers. I said to this woman, have you ever enjoyed sex when you have sex with your husband? She tried to deny it. And I said to her, well, you may deny it because we are having a conversation. But if you look at it intimately, you will know that you have been enjoying it in a way. I said to her, look at how sex is designed. When a man and a woman, whether no matter their age, when they want to have sex, most of the time, 95% of the time, my statistics can be wrong. Sorry, can we have a mute on that side?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so I said 95% of the times, the men are the ones who initiate sex. Whether you're being raped, coerced, or actually consensual, it's often mostly the man who initiates sex. It's often mostly the man who pays a lot of attention on foreplay to make sure that the woman gets into the mood of having sex. It's often the man who gets tired at the end of the sex and collapses either on top of the woman or of the woman's body. Some of them fall asleep and snore off while we're still wondering what to cook tomorrow. And I said to this woman, in my analogy, the man actually suffers to get sex. The man runs after sex. The woman enjoys sex because they are the taker of it. The man labors. And once you teach your daughters, you teach yourself to look at sex in that way, you are going to enjoy sex. You are going to start giving a lot to sex. And a few months later, she called me and she said to me, I had opened up these discussions with a girl group of mine. There are 4 of them, she claims. And we are really, really reworking on our mindset. And although we are in our 50s, we are beginning to enjoy sex again. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is to say to you, fellow woman, particularly, sorry, I'm being biased, Pastor, fellow women, it is time we start looking at sex as not a duty, as not a service to the man, but as a fulfillment to ourselves, and as the man rendering duties to us, because they are always the ones, who really suffers. We just, no matter how hard a woman works, no matter, you can do the woman on top, you can do any style, the man still puts in more energy than you. The man still finishes off finished. Most often they are even finished when we still want, especially the older you get, because your sex drive is at a different level. So talk about these things. I'm still on point number 5 that says communicate. Talk about these things. And another thing, just to build on this, the point number 6 is not people over, what is that word? People overvalue sex. People pay a lot of attention to sex. When you have sex with a free mind, when you are free-spirited, you really, really come to enjoy it. So pay little attention, be free-spirited. When I say pay little attention is, if you have to open your legs, fling them apart. Don't care where they fall. Just fling your legs. Just give. The pastor was saying that. When I say pay little attention is, if he wants to chop you there, let him eat you, let him eat it, let him not pay much attention to that. The more attention you pay, the more energy you work. And in everything that you lose a lot of energy, it becomes exhaustive. Anything that you lose a lot of brain power becomes exhaustive. So you should be free about it. And be slow. That's point number 7. Take sex slowly. Take sex slowly and be intentional about it. Be intentional about it. Don't just jump in as if somebody is running after you. And don't just jump out as if you're running after somebody. Be slow about it. Sex can take, if you are in a position like me, where sometimes we go for 2-3 months, we don't have sex, you can actually plan for 3 days to have sex. Go slowly. Prepare your mind, prepare your body, prepare your soul. I think it's chapter 7 of my book. I speak about how you can set the tone for sex, without being romantic and without coming across as romantic and without spending money. You just need to prepare yourself slowly into that. Take days, take weeks, take months. Sex, traditionally, you should do sex often, but traditionally, we are not able to indulge in sex often. So make an indulging routine where maybe once a week or every Tuesday in your mind or in his mind, you indulge in sex. You prepare for that indulging moment, where you really really go slowly, go steadily. You are intentional about it, even if it means sending your children to mother-in-law, those who have, or me, you can send to me. To Josiane, I'm sure she's ready with topics like this being discussed by her. She's ready to be a babysitter. But even if it means doing that, do it once in a while, you know. And then another very, very big thing, I think this should be point number 8 now. Another very big thing that we should look at is our cultural and religious barriers to sex. There are so many barriers that people come into. And when I say cultural, it's something as small as saying vagina. When a husband says, open, I need to get into the vagina, it can turn a woman off forever. Or for a woman to just say, I want to feel your penis, it can turn a man off forever. So if we can start to deconstruct those things as well, but mindful of people's background, some people are sensitive for a reason. There is a woman that you can say vagina to. Meanwhile, 10, 15 years ago, that woman was being raped by somebody who said, open your vagina, and that word vagina then becomes a trigger to that person, to that woman, to that man. So we should be mindful of people's experiences as well. But the only way that your partner can be sensitive to your experience, by the way, is if you talk about it, if you tell them, because you might be suffering and they don't know that this is what you had gone through. So they keep repeating it and keep repeating it and keep repeating it. So I hope I'm making sense in this.
No.
And then another point is, don't take it for granted that the more you have prepared yourself, the better your sex will be. Prepare yourself for bad meals. Like when you're cooking that rice and you overput salt. In most cases, we don't dump that salt, we still eat it. So prepare yourself for bad moments as well. Accept bad moments. Talk about bad moments. Don't only talk about good moments, but also what backfired should be a reason why you should work on it again. Work on it. If you had put too much salt because you had used a big spoon to scoop your salt, in future, you're going to use a teaspoon, you're going to use a tablespoon. So look at the things that had gone wrong and then try to fix those things so that it does not happen again. I see a question has come in there, but sure, you also said that there will be a time for questions, right? And then another thing that I tell people who are daring to introduce to their bedrooms is exercises. Try and do different things. I remember when I was single, my brother was married. I took his wife and we went and bought some things that I'm not going to name here. And I told her, I bought for myself, I bought for her, and I told her to use this to spice up her bedroom and everything. And then I got married about some 7, 8 years after my marriage. She called me one day, Victorine, and I'm like, yes. Those things that we bought, have you been using them? And I'm like, yo, Julia, I don't even know where I kept them. And she's like, oh, it was very easy for you to get for me, but you cannot use them. And I'm like, you were married. So sometimes looking from outside, you think you can always solve the problems. But once you're inside, the game changes. Introduce certain things that you and your husband can talk about, or you and your wife can talk about, and do that, and do that in your relationship. But it's very important that you introduce games as well, because what do games do? They make you relax. They relax you. They make you forget about the things that are holding you up. So, yep, I will stop here to take questions alongside the pastor, if there are any for me.
Wow. That was a great, powerful presentation. Thank you for touching on those strong points, those elements that sometimes we don't want to talk about. And that is very crucial for relationship. There are so many couples suffering out there. You will hear men when they're talking among themselves, they will say, my sex life is boring, my wife is boring. And some of them, even when they cheat and you have to confront them, they say, because the woman I have is not satisfying me anymore. And that brings us back to what pastors point out before, that we have to go back to the beginning. What was that thing? When we reconnect with the beginning, it's helped a lot. It's solving so many problems. I'm not going to be long. I just want to give the floor to everyone who is connected. If you're connected on Facebook, you can still write down your question. I think Cyril can just put it forward for us. We are live on Facebook. The Facebook page is Coach Diva Josie. Yes, that's the platform that we're using now, that bring forward coaches and mentor in different aspects of our life, whether wellness, relationship, business. These are the type of topic we discuss on this type of platform. So if you want more information, please connect to the platform. Syria, you can put it on the chat box. So we're just going to move to the question. The first question that I'm having before me, in front of me now, is from Beatrice. She says, how often can a couple have sex in a week? So the matter of, yes, the regularity of sex, is there a specific number of time, or is it, let me just give the question to the coach. Yes, Vicky, maybe you can just go on.
That is a very important question, but a very difficult one to respond to as well, because many things are taken into consideration. You know, I would recommend that you have sex as much as time permits you to have. If you want to have it 3 times a day, go for it. You know, ideally, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, I actually sent a sentence to my husband that said, the more a couple has sex, the more sexual satisfaction they derive from a sexual encounter. You know, meaning that, you gave me a fright. I thought I'm the one who went. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, meaning, I want to see more pictures, yeah? Meaning that the more you have, the better it gets, because in everything it says, practice makes perfect. So even your body machine gets acquainted to the fact that it will work now and then. So my response, in short, to Beatrice is, do it as many times and as often as time permits you, but don't set yourself unmeasurable targets.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Why is it that you say that traditionally we can't have sex more often? So he's just echoing from the previous question. Why is it you stated traditionally we can't have sex often?
Because so traditionally couples, no, it's fine. The reason I used it in that way is that the way life is designed, I'll give me for example, there is no power in my house now, and my husband has gone to sleep. When I go back, maybe I'm horny, he's sleeping. I don't want to disturb him because he wants to go to, he will be waking up in the morning to take the kids to school, for instance. So when I use the word traditionally, I mean by design of the ways that we work, by the ways that we operate. It's very difficult to assume, especially in this modern world, it's very difficult to assume that I can have sex every night or every morning, because your routine one night might not be the same the next night. You might have visitors in your house that are even sleeping in your matrimonial bed with you, depending on how your house is designed. So many things would interfere. Hence, I said, do it with a relaxed mind, but also don't set unrealistic measures for yourself. So that is what I meant.
Okay, yes, that was Stephen. Any other question, you can just raise your hand and put your question forward. But before that, there was a question for Pastor Don. I think Beatrice asked the question.
I see the question.
Oh, okay, Pastor, yes, you can go on.
I think first I want to say to Victorian, well done. That was a good presentation. And I like it when a woman talks about sex because it makes it easier for the work to happen, because men are always there heading for sex and all that, but sometimes women shy away. So I really applaud that. And I want to see, I think the question we had was how, can a couple use sex to fix a problem? I'm trying to, yeah, can a couple use sex to fix problem in a relationship? So I will say that sex cannot fix a problem. In fact, to be honest with you, this is why some people marry the wrong person. Because you see, when they are dating or cutting, they don't spend time to understand one another, to iron out their issues. Whenever they have issue, they go to bed, have sex, and they bury it under, sweep it under the carpet. And now when they get married, they now find out that those problems that they swept under the carpet has not gone anywhere. So they now need to face it head on. So I think that one of the things that can limit a good performance in sex will be that there are issues in our hearts that are unresolved. When we have unresolved issues, we cannot open up, we cannot connect, because sex is a connection. It has, like she spoke about, a spirit that binds people together. So you have to try and see how to resolve your issues. Talk about it, and let your partner know how you feel, but don't use sex as a tool, of fighting, a weapon to fight. I've heard some people say, if you don't, do this, I'm not going to have sex with you. If you don't, no, you need to understand that sex is not just for your partners. You also need to enjoy it. It's also for your own pleasure and enjoyment. So sit down and communicate. And one tool I would like to give today to everyone is, when you want to communicate, try to use the I word in communicating your displeasure. Because you see, sometimes the way we go about, speaking about the problem, it matters a lot. Sometimes it's not really what you say, but how you say it that makes it a problem. So instead of saying like, you are always doing this, you make me angry, you, try and use the I word. Say, I feel unhappy when you do this. I feel, I can't rest when you come back home by this time. You see, let's find ways we can express our problems in a way that our partners can receive with minimal or no offense. Because in resolving issues, you must consider the feelings of your partner too. Don't say, I just want to say what is in my heart. I don't care. I just want to tell you how I feel. No, try and put it in a manner that your partner can receive and understand with you. And then you can have your issues easily resolved. So try and sort the issues before the sex. Or maybe you can do it after, but I think sex shouldn't be a tool to resolving issues.
Wow.
I agree with you, Pastor.
Thank you for that.
I actually understood.
Yes, go on, Vicky. Over to you, Vicky.
I was saying to Pastor, it's quite interesting the angle that he came. I actually understood the question in the other way. I thought the person was saying, can sex be used as a tool to solve a problem? So that is how I understood the question.
And what difference does that make?
The difference that makes is, remember, like what Pastor has said, most people withhold sex because they have a problem. And the difference is they might give sex because the problem has been solved. So I understood it in that manner, to say, when we now have the sex, does it mean that the problem is behind us?
Yeah.
Is it making sense? And
Yeah,
what
I
what I wanted to say in that regard was, yes, it could mean the problem is behind us, but it could also mean that the problem has just skyrocketed because that person starts looking at themselves as sex symbol, as you only come to them because you need sex, not to solve the problem that was pending. So we should always just communicate so that we make sure that, look, even though we have had the sex, that problem is still there. Let's talk about the problem and solve it. And it goes back to cement what the pastor said, that we should not withhold. So your partner giving to you does not mean that your partner has forgotten what you did. So we should not mistake the two. I'm sure that's what Pastor was also saying. We should not mistake the two. So we should give, but we should make sure that even though it has happened, we still resolve the issue to make our partner knows that we're not withholding sex because we're unhappy, and we're not giving sex because we are happy. We are doing a duty that belongs to the two of us, but we still have to sit down and talk about these things.
Yeah, no, it's good that you clarify that point, because we have seen it in many couples. And there was even a story that went viral in the media. Was it a Cameroonian couple? They were facing challenges, and they met overseas, and the guy invited the woman at his place. They slept, and in the morning, the woman expected that the man will continue with the romance and so on. The man just said, no, it was just sex. We still have our issue. And the lady couldn't take it. They fought really fought, because the woman thought that this guy abused. This guy took and so on. So that there was not proper communication there. So though the sex happened, but the issue was not sorted. It was just the issue was put under the carpet. So it's always important to talk about it. And Pastor said, it's not a tool. But the other angle where I look at the problem, you remember they used to say when a woman wants something and she presents a body, it's easy for her to obtain what she wants through that. And they were even making joke about it, where they say the men would just say, what do you want? Do you want the key of my house? Do you want the key of this? Take it. So give me your body and get whatever you want. So there's also that perspective of sex being sometimes taken as a means or a tool to obtain what, especially in the hand of women. And some women try to play with that. But yeah, is it really at the advantage? We have a lot of questions flowing. How can a couple overcome mismatched libido? We still talking.
Can I take that, or the pastor is taking? Okay.
Yeah, you can take it.
You know, mismatched libido is very common in relationships. You know, again, like I always refer people to my social media. I posted something recently to say, don't expect to be your best friend's best friend. You know, it's exactly the same thing with sex. Don't expect to match your partner's desire for sex. No, don't expect your partner to match your desire for sex. There should always be a meeting point. But let's go back to the libido. The assumption is commonly that men have a higher libido than women. But I tell you, I have dealt with cases where the man runs away from the bedroom because a woman could not allow him sleep. And most men from the outside, I mean, I had a recent encounter with West African men, and I talked to them about one of their brothers that was running away from the bedroom, and all of them were envious of this guy. They thought it was a good thing, but it's not a good thing. Thank you so much to the person who asked that question, because it's very important that we always discuss things like this. What is libido in the first place? Libido is a desire to be satisfied by a certain action, in this case, sex, right? So people have, when we say that people have mismatched libido, we're basically saying that one person's desire for sex is more or less than the other person's desire. And that is a mismatch, because it's not at equal level. So I go back to the point where I said, do not expect to be at equal level with your partner. What you should always expect is to strike a balance with your partner. And that balance should come through communication. It should come through knowing yourself, because there are ways that you can satisfy your partner without necessarily having penetrative sex or without necessarily having sex, but you can satisfy them sexually. So when you have that desire and you communicate the desire with your partner, and you and your partner come to a middle point on how to arrive at certain desires, or how to arrive at an acceptable point, it then makes the relationship easy. So don't always assume that this person would understand my libido level. Don't always assume that what you display is what should be. Always try and communicate, but you cannot communicate what you don't know. So in the nutshell, understand yourself before you can understand your partner, before you can understand the situation in which you and your partner find yourself. I hope that answers your question. Where is our coordinator? Should I go to the next question?
No. You know, I'm in the black here. I'm trying to play around with the light and it's distracting me. I'm trying to get things on the track.
Yeah.
It's low shedding this side.
Yeah.
Yes, Elga, how can a couple overcome? That was from Teboho. I hope you were satisfied with the answer. Pastor, do you want to add anything onto what was said?
No, I think she said it all.
Okay. No, I know she's the expert. That's why she's here. I have, from Elga, I have no question. I just want to appreciate Pastor Ndon and Mrs. Victory. Thank you. Now we're having Miriam. She's just echoing on the previous question or the previous answers. That's very complicated. Having sex while having problem. How can you do it when you are not happy? I think Pastor answered that.
No, I think she can, yeah, she can say something about that first. Yeah.
Pastor, that is unfair. When I joined, that is very unfair. When I joined the program, I actually heard Pastor saying something in that line, you know. I heard Pastor saying that we all have problems and we should always make sure that we don't carry the burdens into the bedroom. Pastor, I'm paraphrasing you, but that is what you said when I just joined. And I really want to extend my sympathy to this person, but at the same time, I want to say to this person that you are an idiot. You know, you're a fool to think that problems should stop you from having sex. Okay, I'm joking. I'm joking. What I tell my clients is that the adult's life is full of stress. The adult life is full of problems. You will have them every day, but you have to make a choice, because for those of us who are Christians, the day you die and you go to heaven, you might actually find that God has hell for people who came sexually unsatisfied, even though he gave them partners. Do you want me to repeat that? There could be space in hell.
You have said
yes. There could be space in hell for people who died sexually unsatisfied, even though God had given them partners. Because it is an insult to carry your problems into the bedroom unless those problems started in the bedroom. And if they started in the bedroom, please run away and have sex in the bathroom. If they started in the bathroom, go have your sex in the kitchen. If they started inside your house, there are trees in the yard, go have your sex outside or in the car. Basically, what I am saying is give unto Peter what belongs to Peter. You should not. You should free your mind. It is extremely difficult, but unless you practice all the points or most of the points that the pastor and I have been speaking about here, if you don't practice those points, you're going to be holding yourself back from sexual enjoyment. If you practice those points, you're going to liberate yourself, because it's all about you. You cannot control where your partner does it and how your partner does it, but you can control how you enjoy what you do with your partner. So please learn as adults, know that every single person has problems. Learn on how to deal with your problems, but most especially how to make love while you have problems. Because those problems, making love or not making love, will not take those problems away. I'm sorry, there's no easier way to put this across.
Okay, thank you very much, Victorine. That's great. I always say to people that we should not forget that there is no marriage in heaven. In other words, this is where it ends. So if you're not fulfilled here, forget about it for the rest of your life after earth. So what I will say to that is that sometimes people allow situations to limit them from their satisfaction. Now, you remember when we were kids, there were times that, in fact, you still find some children doing that. When they are angry, they don't want to eat. They don't want to eat food, as if when you eat the food, your mom is going to be the one who is satisfied. So you need to understand that, you know, there are some things that you need to do as an adult, even though you don't feel like doing it. So I think if we can see sex as a pleasure for us, not for our partner alone, then we can overcome that limitation. Because once we get into it with a mindset that, oh, I'm going to please him, I'm here to please him, or I'm here to please her, then you deprive yourself of that. But if you can see it as something that pleases you too, why will you not, you know, work it out? Now, I'm saying practically, if there is something that really weighs heavy in your heart, and you know that this is going to limit your performance, because now we're not just talking about an act here. We're talking about, you know, being satisfied, you know, the performance you give, giving your best. If you know this is going to limit you, now talk about it. That's to be practical. You know, tell your partner, listen, I'm ready to have sex and all that, you know, but I feel weighed down with this issue. You know, something like this. Just put it in a way. Sometimes you can put it in a jovial way. You can put it in a way your partner can handle, because I wouldn't say that some people can handle it and do it. Some people may not, but find a way to not miss out from the action. That's what I'm saying.
No, thank
like
you
it. I
very
like
much
that.
for highlighting once again that communication is important. What do you want? What is bothering you? Because all this also prevents us to enjoy sex as we should. It's very key to discuss about issues that are bothering you, to talk about what you want clearly, so as to have your need met. We still have a question here. Um, will you promote, encourage blow job during sex? And is there any advantage, disadvantage?
You know, in my book, I actually outlined the stages that you can go through to have a blowjob. And I said a woman's mouth is warm and it's tight like a vagina. And most men like to have their penis in there, you know. And I make a joke to say the woman's mouth is warm and tight only when they are not angry. When they're angry, you know how their mouth can bite. So again, guided by your culture, guided by your religion, I come from a free spirit way. If I have to answer that question, I would say yes, I let him suck me, so I would also suck him, you know. And if it is something that you want to venture into and your partner does not tolerate, again, go back to communication. Talk about your fantasies. It should always start there. When you talk about your fantasy, you express what your fantasy is to them. Ask them if they would like to try your fantasy. By the way, my fantasy is to have sex in my friend's bathroom, my friend's toilet. So the people I visit, be careful. That's my fantasy. So yeah. So talk about your fantasy.
You are just you.
No, that's if I come to your house with my husband, just be careful. We might do that. He knows, so I'll pull him in one day. But again, go back to that question. It's a very good question, because again, it goes back to communicative techniques for taboos. You know, how do you communicate taboos? You have to play. You know your partner better than I do. I can tell you that, okay, tease him, but now you go to tease him and it doesn't work. I can tell you that ask about his fantasies, and you go to ask about fantasies and it goes off. So, but understand yourself again, understand your partner, introduce the topic in the way that you deem necessary. You can actually just make a story to even say, look, this person does it, the person that you don't know or you heard somewhere, or whatever story would work well for your relationship. Just make sure you're not lying. Make sure it's a truth that you would hold on to, you know. And yes, I am completely not against. The only type of sex that I'm against, but I still encourage people to do it if they want to, is anal sex. You know, if it's your tradition, if it's your way of doing it, go ahead and do it. I have no choice. I live in the world where I feel like you can only control how you perceive people, not how people behave. So if you are that person that you feel like you love it, all what you should do is learn about how to do it so that you do it well. And know that with a mouth to genital sex, there's a lot of hygiene that should be practiced in that, in a way that when you want to venture for the first time, you do it in a way that you don't turn your partner off. Because once they get turned off, you might never have that opportunity again. So prepare yourself psychologically, prepare your genitals as well, and also prepare the after cleaning method of your genitals before you get involved in it. But I would encourage you to do it if that's what you want to. If it will help in your relationship, because it's part of spicing as well.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, Victorine, for speaking openly. You know, just saying what other people cannot say openly. And this is a type of conversation that we need to engage into. Yeah, let us have this type of conversation. I know there are many couples out there suffering with this, and they can't even open up to even the close relationship because they feel like they will be judged. They feel like, no, it's something that needs to be hidden, but it's part of our life. And somehow this session turned out to emphasize more on sex. It was romance, but it ended up turning into a discussion around sex. So it shows that it's a burning issue. We need to talk about it in our relationship. As I say, many of us find ourselves, yeah, there are some people who have tried it before they get into marriage, even with their partner, but others just find themselves in a house where they have to undergo sexual relationship with the partner, or that they never really have that test, or that they have not found themselves in the place where they really talk about it, where they discuss, and that's it. And so thank you for those who joined today. For those who would like to connect with our speaker, Pastor Ndong is on Facebook on Living as One. For those who want his book, amazing book that have been written on relationship. And Victorine also let me know. Yes, Victorine Bonchou. That is the name of Victorine Facebook page. If you need to connect with her, yeah, she always put forward burning issue. Sometimes when I read your post, I'm like, in French, we say she can ever oser. We still have a message here. Thanks for an amazing discussion. I don't know if anyone has a question. If not, we are going to conclude. Any question? And Victorine, do you have any word before we conclude? And then I will give the floor to Pastor Ndong.
I think for me, I just want to say to the participants, well done. They've been very participatory. It's very important that we have these conversations. But the one thing that I would like them to take away tonight is a question. When did you have your first orgasm? How was it? Would you like it again? Try it tonight.
Wow. 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 And Pastor Ndong?
Wow. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I want to thank everyone joining in. Thank you, Victorine. That was a good word you put out there. I would just like to say in closing, please focus on building oneness with your partner, especially those who are married. Everything we do in our marriage should tend towards becoming one. That is the secret of an enjoyable and a lasting relationship. There should be oneness. You see, when two things have merged into one, you can't separate it. You cannot, divorce those two when two people have become one. So the sex we have should be towards oneness. The way we communicate what we do, every time we interact, we should have that in mind, that we are trying to build towards oneness. And with that vision of oneness, it will guide you on how to relate, how to talk to your partner, how to do things. And I always want to leave couples with this. Treat your partner in a way you would like to be treated. Don't treat your partner in a way you will not like to be treated and then expect something good to come out of that. No, put yourself always in your partner's position and say, if I were to be my partner in need of this, how will I want my partner to respond? You know, how will I want this person to respond? So it cuts across every area of life, both in the bedroom, romance, in the way we connect, the way we relate. Always try to do that, and it will help you to love the right way, because there is a right way to love and it comes with benefits. But when you love and you're not loving the right way, you're not going to get the full benefit. So I wish you all the best going forward in your relationship. Enjoy your relationship. Marriage was meant for enjoyment. So make sure you enjoy it. God bless you.
No, thank you very much for that concluding word, Victorine and Pastor Don, for your time, for making yourself available, for all the answer, for preparing for this session. It has been an amazing one. We have learned a lot. Yeah, and thank you for the homework that you are giving us. There's so many questions that you put before us that we need to really think about it. Maybe some of us, our sexual or romance life have faded away because we are not really doing what we should do. So for relationship to keep the spark, we need to work it out. Some of us have stopped working it out, and some of us do not even know how to work it out. And thank you for really bringing out those perspectives that will help a lot of us on this platform. Even those who will be joining us on Facebook later or watch the session, we hope you're going to be really enriched. Thank you, Victorine, for opening up as a woman talking about sex openly. Is great. I hope this type of conversation will also take place in our home with our children. They're not going to find themselves in their marital life and wondering, what is it? Where am I? What did I find myself into? How do I go about it? There were certain culture where a woman was initiated how to really undertake sexual activity or with the partner, but nowadays we have lost track of those type of things. So it's good that we start initiate this type of discussion, so that culture it's been divulgated to prevent a lot of divorce, because many marriages is not working out as it should, because romance, sexuality is not being satisfied. The sexual spark is not there. And people long for it because it's part of us. It's part of, we long to have that, enjoy it, because it's meant to be enjoyed. Like Victorine even point out that there should be a place in heaven where people who have got partner and who have not enjoyed the relationship should be put there and punished. Yes, there is no way you can be married and you don't enjoy your sexual life. Yeah, we're talking about sexuality here. Romance is part of it, it's part of romance. So please, you have to work it out. Thank you very much for those who joined tonight, and I hope you are leaving the platform being enriched, being informed, being empowered. And it's not just about getting that knowledge, but try to practice, try to go back home and see where you're missing it and try to make it up for your couple. Because once a relationship is being enjoyed, there's really that fulfillment. People can pick it up. Let us just enjoy that relationship that we have been blessed with. Thank you very much for joining, and stay connected to our platform for more for more sessions like this. Thank you for, once again, for Victorine. You can connect to their platform, Victorine and Pastor Don. Please have you included the platform, your social media handle in the chat box. For those who want to purchase your book, Victorine?
No, I didn't.
Please, can you just put it in the chat box? Someone is asking if there is a recording of today's Zoom. You can get the recording on our Facebook page, Coach Diva Josie. Please do not forget to like the page. Just Coach Diva Josie, you can have the recording on that platform. So on this, I would say, have a blessed evening, a blessed night, and let us okay, Victorina put her book, Proform book in Bramley. Actually, it's a publishing company. So she's located in Bramley. And you can also connect with her on her Facebook page, Victorine Bonchou, as the name is written on the screen. Pastor Don for his book is 07825545117. On social media is Living as One, www.livingasOneevent.com. So stay connected, have a blessed night. Thank you very much for joining. And in 2 weeks' time, we're having another session on wellness.